Hello, hello everyone. Today, let us see the flow of fluids. When the liquid is at rest, the only significant property of the liquids is its specific weight. On the other hand, when a liquid is in motion, various other liquid properties become significant. The science which deals with the forces on water at rest is known as hydrostatics. So, hydrostatics means hydrostatics. Okay. It is the science which deals with forces on water at rest condition is known as hydrostatics. The science which deals with motion of particles without considering the forces causing the motion is known as hydrokinematics. You know very well all these things already studied in the second chapter, that is pressure and its measurements. Hydrokinematics. Hydrokinematics. Okay, so it is nothing but the motion of particles without considering the forces causing the motion is known as hydrokinematics. The velocity at any point in a flow field at any time is studies in this branch of the fluid mechanics. Once the velocity is known, then the pressure distribution and forces acting on the liquid can be determined. Okay, if you know the velocity of the flow, you can find out the pressure. Forces acting on the liquid can be determined. The science which deals with the action of forces in producing motion of liquids is known as hydrokinematics. This is the hydrokinematics. Simply, once again repeating, the science which deals with the action of forces in producing motion of liquids is known as hydrokinematics, kinetics or hydrodynamics. The dynamic behavior of the liquid flow is analyzed by the Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion. Okay, we have different types of fluids. First one is steady flow. You know very well. Already we have discussed. Uh, Steady flow means steady flow. The flow is said to be steady when the flow characteristics such as velocity, pressure, density, temperature, etc. do not change with respect to time. So flow properties does not change with respect to time. Suppose pressure it should not be changed with respect to time. Okay. Suppose velocity also. Velocity, it does not change with respect to time. All these things are comes under steady flow. uh, Example for this, water flowing through a pipe at a constant rate. Next one is unsteady flow. The liquid's flow is said to be unsteady if at any point in flowing liquid any one or all flow characteristics such as with time. Okay, with respect to time the fluid properties will change. That is steady flow. Uniform flow means the flow is said to be uniform when the velocity does not change with respect to time. Velocity, this velocity is does not change with respect to time. That is uniform flow. Uniform flow. If you take the example for this uniform flow, the flow of liquid through a long pipe of constant diameter. There is a constant diameter of the pipe is there. Through this pipe water is flowing, that is uniform flow. If you take the non-uniform flow, if the velocity of flow of liquid changes up from point to point at any instant, the flow is said to be non-uniform. The velocity gradually changes. Okay, it may vary from place to place. That is called as a non-uniform flow. Steady flow means the fluid properties does not change with respect to time. Uniform flow means the velocity does not change with respect to the time. Okay, next, laminar flow. You know very well. The flow is said to be laminar when the paths taken by the individual particles do not cross one another. So here, if you take the fluid particles do not cross each other, it flows like in same pathway, in same path. That is laminar flow. Okay, next one is the fluid particles flow like this parallelly. If you take the Reynolds number, not Reynolds number, here turbulent flow. Let us see the turbulent flow. This is the turbulent flow. Okay, the fluid particles in flows in zigzag way, that is called turbulent flow. Example, rivers at the time of floods. This is the turbulent flow. For laminar flow, example is flow through pipes, tapering pipes. Sorry, flow through small tubes. Okay, that is comes under the laminar flow. If you take the rotational flow, the flow is said to be rotational of if the liquid particles rotates about their mass center while moving in the direction of flow. While moving in the direction, the flow rotates. These fluid particles try to rotate. This is called rotational flow. Okay, irrotational flow means the flow is said to be irrotational if the liquid particles does not rotate about their mass center while moving in the direction. If it does not move, that is called as a irrotational flow. Next one is compressible flow. If a flow in which the volume and the density of the fluid changes during the flow, it is called compressible flow. If the volume and density changes, volume and density changes during the flow is called compressible flow. Clear? If you take the incompressible flow, the volume and the density of the fluid does not change during the flow is called an incompressible flow. All the liquids are considered have a incompressible flow. Okay, so this is the basic terminology which we are using in the flow of fluids in the pipes. Okay, next, the discharge. First you have to know about the discharge. What is meant by discharge? The volume of liquid flow through any section in a pipe or a channel per unit time is known as discharge or rate of flow. Rate of flow means the volume of liquid flowing through any section of a pipe or a channel per unit time is known as discharge or rate of flow. Discharge is expressed in terms of meter cube per second. Discharge units are meter cube per second, that is volume per unit time. Okay, 1 cubic meter per second is casually written as 1 cubic. 1 cubic meter per second is nothing but 1 cubic. 1 cubic. Okay, CUMEC, cubic. If you take 1 cubic feet, 1 cubic feet per second is equal to 1 cubic. 1 cubic. If you take the cubic meter per second, that is cubic. Cubic feet per second, this is FPS system, that is cubic. In SI system, that is cubic. Okay. If you want to find out the discharge, Q equal to area into velocity. Area into velocity. Okay. A is the nothing but cross-sectional area of the flow and average velocity of the flow across the section respectively. Then discharge for incompressible liquid is area into velocity. Then if you take the 1 meter cube, how many liters? 1 meter cube is equal to, if you take 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, this cube is there. If you pour the water in this particular cube, how many liters will be occupied? 1 meter equal to 1000 liters. 1000 liters. Okay. 1 cubic means 1000 liters per second. Okay. This thing you should keep it in your mind. Next one is continuity equation. Continuity equation. Continuity equation. Suppose there is a pipe. There is a pipe. Okay. Here at section 11, 22, 33. We have 3 sections in the pipe. Okay. The continuity equation, which is important thing for 2 marks, 3 marks question or 5 marks question. The continuity equation states that the rate of flow is constant across the section of the flow. The rate of flow is constant, that is Q. Discharge is nothing but rate of flow. Discharge is nothing but the volume of liquid flowing through any section of a pipe or a channel per unit time is known as a discharge or rate of flow. Discharge is expressed in terms of meter cube per second. Okay, Q is nothing but discharge or rate of flow. Rate of flow. If you suppose to take one pipe at section 11, how much quantity of water flowing through this pipe in 1 second? Suppose there are 2 cubic meters of water is flowing through this particular pipe. Then discharge, how much is discharge? 2 meter cube per second. Okay, it is flowing per second 2 cubic meters of water from that particular section or from that particular pipe. Okay, next, that is nothing but rate of flow. If you suppose take, it is, this equation is based on the law of principle of conservation of mass. It is very important thing for the prospective of ESET or competitive exams. That is the principle. Continuity equation is, which of the following is the continuity equation is based on A, law of conservation of mass, B, law of conservation of energy, C, Newton's second law, 3 Newton's third law. So this principle is mainly law of conservation of mass. Here I am writing law of conservation of mass. Important thing for 1 mark question or competitive exams. Law of conservation of mass. Then what is this continuity equation? Now you know the continuity equation. What is that continuity equation? The rate of flow is constant at every point in that particular pipe. What is meant by constant rate? What is meant by rate of flow? The rate of flow is same in pipe in every point. Okay. What is meant by rate of flow? That is the amount of water which is passing through the pipe per unit time. You can find out the discharge in terms of area into velocity. You will get the discharge, that is rate of flow. Okay, this is the same in every point as per law of conservation mass. What is that thing? Discharge is nothing but q equal to area at section 1 into velocity at section 1 is equal to area at section 2 into velocity at section 2 is equal to area at section 3 is into velocity at section 3. So this is the continuity equation. Discharge or rate of flow is equal to discharge at section 1 is equal to discharge at section 2 is equal to discharge at 3. This is the thing. Okay, so actual thing is this one. You should keep it in your mind. You can call it as a q1 is equal to q2 equal to q3. Simply you can write it as a q1 is equal to q2 is equal to q3. Okay, here a1 a2 a3 is are cross sectional areas of the flow at section 1 2 3. v1 v2 v3 are average velocities of the flow at these 3 sections. Okay, these things you should keep it in your mind. Next, already we have studied about the venturimeter, all these things, flow measurements through venturimeter. First of all, you have to know venturimeter, about the venturimeter. uh, for that you have to understand different types of energies in the Bernoulli's equation. Okay, here I am writing we have three main kinds of energies, three energies. Three energies of liquid while it is in motion. It is also important question or interview question. How many energies are present in the liquid while it is in motion? Three kinds of energies. What are those energies? First one is pressure energy. Pressure energy. Pressure energy. Second one is kinetic energy, important thing, kinetic energy, or simply I can write it as a KE, KE, kinetic energy. Next, third one is potential energy. This is nothing but datum energy. Okay, potential potential energy or datum energy. Here I am writing datum energy. Okay, then what is mean by potential energy? Potential energy is nothing but pressure energy per pressure energy is the energy possessed by the liquid particle due to its hydrostatic pressure. Pressure energy is the energy possessed by a liquid particle due to its hydrostatic pressure. That is hydrostatic pressure is P. Okay, this pressure energy per unit weight of the liquid is known as pressure head. Pressure energy per unit weight. Pressure energy per unit weight is known as pressure head. It is expressed in meters. Units are meters. Okay. Whatever the pressure energy is possessed by a whatever the energy possessed by a liquid particle due to its hydrostatic pressure, that is nothing but pressure energy. This we can write it as a pressure per unit weight, that is nothing but in terms of meters, that is called pressure head. Next one is kinetic head. What is mean by kinetic head? That is Ke. Ke is nothing but the energy possessed by a liquid particle due to its velocity. Pressure energy due to pressure of the liquid particle possessed by a liquid particle only due to its hydrostatic pressure, that is pressure energy. If you take the kinetic energy, the energy possessed by a liquid particle due to its velocity is known as a kinetic energy. The kinetic energy per unit weight of the liquid is known as the velocity head. Kinetic energy per unit weight of the liquid is known as the velocity head. If v is the velocity of the particle and if is the acceleration due to gravity, then velocity head is nothing but v square by 2g. V square by 2g in terms of meters, same units in terms of meters. Okay, kinetic energy is v square by 2g. It is possessed by a velocity. Next to potential energy or datum energy, that is nothing but, here I am writing, potential energy is one which is possessed by a particle due to its position, where reference to any arbitrary datum line, with reference to any arbitrary datum line. This is datum line, for example. Now I am taking this is datum line. Here the fluid particle is presented on that particular surface, then potential energy will become zero. Suppose if you take from here to here, there is a 10 meters, height is 10 meters, then in terms of meters, what is the potential energy or datum energy? 10 meters, 10 meters, that is z. Now I am, this is indicating as a z. Okay, this is ke, this is pe, this is z. Z equal to datum head. Potential energy per unit weight Potential energy per unit weight of the liquid is known as the potential head or datum head. Okay, potential energy per unit weight of the liquid is known as a potential head or datum head. If a liquid particle is z meters above the datum line, then datum head is equal to z of meters. This is the z of meters. Okay, understood? Then the sum of pressure head and datum head is also known as piezometric head. Z equal to height from datum surface. Okay. Here the P by W, this pressure energy plus the datum energy, if you join or add these two things, P by W plus Z, if you add these two things, you will get a piezometric head, that is called as a piezometer head. Piezometric head, P by W plus Z is nothing but piezometric head. Then the sum of pressure energy plus kinetic energy plus datum energy is nothing but the total energy. If you add V square by 2G plus V square by 2G, that is kinematic head. Okay, the sum of all these three things is called as a total energy. Total energy. Okay, right. What is the Bernoulli's theorem? You should know. What is the Bernoulli's theorem? Bernoulli's theorem states that in a steady ideal flow of any incompressible liquid and the total energy at any point of the liquid is constant. Bernoulli's theorem states that in a steady ideal flow of any incompressible liquid, the total energy at any point of the liquid is constant. Total energy remains constant simply. Okay, that is for which fluid? Steady fluid. The fluid should be steady. What is meant by steady? The fluid properties does not change with respect to time. Okay, that is steady flow. Ideal flow, not a real flow, it is ideal flow. Ideal flow. So Bernoulli's theorem, Bernoulli's Bernoulli's theorem, what it is saying, it states that in a steady ideal flow of an incompressible liquid, it is incompressible liquid. Incompressible liquid, the total energy at any point of the liquid is constant. Total energy same. Total energy is constant. Total energy is constant for ideal fluid, steady flow, incompressible fluid, total energy remains constant. That is Bernoulli's theorem. If you write it as a mathematically, that is P by W plus V square by 2G plus Z is equal to constant. Is equal to constant. Clear? That is Bernoulli's theorem. If the Bernoulli's equation is applied between two sections, now this is the venturimeter. Now I am taking section 1 and section 2. If you take the two sections, then P1 by W plus or P1 by gamma plus Z1 plus V1 square by 2G is equal to P2 by W or gamma plus Z2 plus V2 square by 2G. So this is the equation where P1, V1, Z1 are pressure, velocity. P1 is nothing but pressure, V1 equal to velocity. Okay, same thing applies to the second portion. If the loss of energy due to friction is also taken into consideration, if the loss of energy due to friction is also taken into consideration between 1 and 2 sections, then Bernoulli's equation written as, if you take the loss of energy, then you have to add HL, head loss. You have to add head loss. This is the principle. Okay, right.